Brown skin girl, stay home and wine, baby. Brown skin girl, stay home and wine, the baby. I'm going away in a sailing boat, and if I don't come back, throw it down, baby. Oh my God. I'm throwing it, ginger. Guys, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I had to sing that song. That song has been on my mind all morning, okay? So I just had to sing it for you. Listen, I don't know what he meant by throw it down, baby. This was the Merry Men in Barbados that sang that song years ago. Now, listen, the reason I'm thinking about this song is because I have an uncle who left Barbados years ago, back when it was like 10 years old, and then left, went to Australia. No one has never seen him since. We used to hear from his wife, but then after a while communication stops and nobody has heard. So if you live in Australia and you listen, you watch my videos and you know of a man over there named Earl Pascal Thorne, write me, okay, write me and tell me about this guy. Because we have not, his mother is dead and gone, and he was a baby in the family, so she never knew what happened to her son. We don't know if he's dead or if he's alive, but if you know of him, write me, okay? Guys, if you're new to this channel, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. I'm happy today, guys. I'm singing Brown Skin Girl. He said throw it down, baby. What does it mean, throw it down, baby? All right. That's a different story. That's another story. Today, guys, I am making some pumpkin rolls. Pumpkin rolls. And this is October, and all this month I've been making stuff with pumpkin because there's a lot of pumpkin. People have been growing pumpkin. People have a lot of pumpkins. People don't know what to do with the pumpkin, so I'm giving you some ideas. So if you're a person that grows pumpkin, guys, I have a recipe for you today. We're going to make a pumpkin roll, and we're not using the canned pumpkin. We're going to use the ones that you grew in your garden. So I have a nice pumpkin here. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna peel this pumpkin and I'm gonna cook it and I'm gonna mash it. I need 3/4 of a cup of this pumpkin, so I'm gonna go ahead and get this all together. I have my ingredients here on the table. Listen, I got so excited I just threw away the ginger. I got a little bit of ginger here. I just threw it away, so I have to measure some more ginger out, but that's okay. I have plenty of ginger, so I'm gonna go ahead and make this for you, okay? And then, guys, if you're a bitch and you know that song with the Merry Men, brown skin gal, stay home and mind the baby. I'll be right back. Okay, guys, so the pumpkin is all done. I peeled it, boiled it, and then I puree it in my blender. And here is a puree pumpkin that we're going to be using. So we're using pumpkin from scratch. If you're not sure exactly how to do that, I have a pumpkin pie, which I will leave the link, that showed exactly how I peeled it, boiled it, did all that good stuff, okay? So you can watch that if you prefer. So let's get started on making a pumpkin roll. So the first thing that I have here that I'm going to get started with is I have a bowl here, and I have 3/4 of a cup of flour. So I'm going to go ahead and sieve this flour in here. Okay, this is 3/4 of a cup of flour. Then to this flour, I'm going to add 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. I have here 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1/4 teaspoon of ginger, and 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg, ground nutmeg. And then you're just going to go ahead and mix this up. Mix it all up together. And then I'm going to set this aside. Okay, guys, so now I'm going to go ahead and put my eggs in here, one at a time. I've already put one in. So here's my second egg. And my third egg. So So I have 3 eggs that I put in here. Those eggs are room temperature. Make sure your eggs are at room temperature. So now I have here 1 cup of sugar. So I will add my sugar to that. And I have in here a teaspoon of vanilla extract. I'm going to add that in there as well. And then I'm going to turn my mixer on and just mix that up for a little bit. I'm going to mix it up to just long enough to blend up the sugar for the sugar to melt a little bit. Now if you don't have a stand mixer, you don't have to use this. You can use a hand mixer if you have that. If you don't, just use your hand. Do the old-fashioned way. Because before we had mixers, we had to mix everything with our hands. So you can do it that way as well. Okay? So I'll be back in a couple minutes. So my sugar is all melted in here. That's just the sugar and the egg. So to that, I'm going to add the pumpkin puree to that. Let me get a spoon. Get it all out of here. So this is the pumpkin that we made from scratch with our pumpkin, our garden pumpkin that we grew. Okay, good. And I'm just gonna mix this up for a second. This is not gonna be here for very long. Just kind of like mix that in. And that's it. That is it. Now I'm gonna take this off of here. Okay guys, so this is what it looks like right here. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stir in the flour and put this aside. Okay guys, so now I have here my flour. So I'm gonna stir the flour in here. I'm just gonna pour it in and mix the flour up. You just want to stir the flour in. You don't want to beat the flour. You just want to stir it in. Mix that up. And that's it guys, that is it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my mixer right here and kind of mix up a little bit just to break up some of the lumps of the flour. So I'm gonna give it a hard whisk right here just to get some of the flour broken up. But when you add your flour, you don't wanna beat it up too much. I think that's it. And that's it guys, that's what it looks like. So my stove is already set at 350. I'm gonna put this in the oven and I'm gonna bake it for about 10 to 15 minutes. You're not gonna bake it very long because it's gonna be a thin cake, okay? I have a pan right here. This is my pan. This is my pan right here, and this is my parchment paper. I put this part and I put a little bit of butter on here to help it to come up good. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this cake right here and put it here. Don't put it in your pan itself, put it on some parchment paper, because if you put it in the pan, you're gonna have a hard time getting it out of the pan. Okay, so don't do it. Okay, so let me get something to take all this good stuff out of here. All right guys, try to get all of it out. Okay. So when you get it out like this, guys, just kind of try to take it to the end. Try to spread it out. Smooth it out. Just smooth it out all over. and you switch to something you have that's flat to help you to even it out. Okay, and get it as even out as best you can. And that's it. Okay guys, so I'm going to put this in the oven for, as I said, maybe between 10 and 15 minutes. But just remember, this is very thin, so it's not going to take very long, so don't go too far. Just keep an eye on it, okay, just to make sure that you don't burn it. All right, so I'll be back in a few minutes to show you exactly what it looks like. Okay guys, so the cake is out of the oven. Here it is. It took 15 minutes, and it is nice and nice color. So now let me show you what I'm gonna do next. The cake is still hot. I'm holding it because it cooled a little bit, but it's still hot. I'm gonna rest that there for a second. Over here I have a dish towel, and I'm gonna go ahead and put some, this is some powdered sugar, some confectionate sugar. I'm gonna sprinkle on my towel. This is a brand new towel that I went and buy, guys. If we're gonna do this and roll it on a towel, we need a clean towel, not an old towel we've been using forever. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna sprinkle some sugar all over my towel. Yeah, sprinkle. You can sprinkle it generously on the towel. Let me just move this away a little bit so I'm not sprinkling that, and I'm just sprinkling the towel. This is, as I said, confectionate sugar. Okay. So now that I've sprinkled my towel, the next thing to do is to get this out of here and get it on my towel. So I'm gonna go ahead and attempt to do this, hopefully without messing my cake up. So let's go. There we go. See, my pan is nice and clean. I am going to go ahead and just gently, and you need to do this when your cake is nice and warm, guys. Don't let cake cool too much. Okay, that's here. It's kind of sticking a little bit to the paper. Okay, there we go. Gently, just gently peel your paper off. There we go. Gently peel it off. And there we go. The next thing I'm gonna do here, guys, is I'm going to roll this cake, okay? I'm gonna roll it because we're making a pumpkin roll. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my cloth right here and go ahead and just roll it tightly. And as I said, you're gonna make sure you do this when your cake is nice and warm, okay? If your cake cools, you're not gonna be able to do it very good because it'll probably break, okay? So what I'm gonna do with this is I will put this in the refrigerator, and I'm gonna leave it in there because I need it to come to a complete cool. I'm gonna leave this in the refrigerator for about an hour. It should be cool by then. You can put it in the freezer if you want to cool faster. And then I'm gonna come back and make the icing, the cream cheese icing that goes on the inside of this. I'm gonna make that for you while this is cooling, okay? So I'll be back in a few minutes. Okay guys, so now let's go on to the next step. While our cake is cooling, I'm gonna go ahead and make my cream cheese filling that's gonna go on the inside of the roll, okay? So over here I have 1 cup of confectionate sugar. So I'm gonna sieve this a little bit. So after you've sieved this in here, you're gonna set this aside for a minute. And over here, I'm going to add, I have here 1 pack of softened cream cheese. I took it out of the refrigerator and it's been sitting out for a while, so it's softened. So I'm gonna put that in here. I have here about 4 tablespoons of butter. Let your butter come to room temperature as well, where everything blends together and blends smoothly. So let's go ahead and put this on. Okay, so I'm gonna mix that up for a few minutes. Sorry. I'm gonna add about 2 teaspoons of vanilla to that. Now I will add to that my powdered sugar. This is 1 tablespoon. This is 1 cup. 1 tablespoon. This is 1 cup, guys. Put this over here. Now let's continue smoothing this out. Get it nice and creamy. I think that is about it. By golly, she's got it. Okay, so let me just get all this stuff from in here. We don't want to leave anything. We don't want to leave it on here. Now I am going to take this, guys. Try not to eat it. Push this aside. Now I have my roll right here. It has completely cooled. I put it in the refrigerator to cool so it can cool faster, because you want it to come to a complete cool. And here it is. So now what I'm gonna do is I am going to take that frosting and layer it all on the inside here. And then just spread it out. We're gonna spread it all over. Don't want to leave any. And now we're gonna spread it out. Spread it out best you can, all the way, all the way. Don't worry about going all the way to the end, guys, because we're going to cut off the end. So you don't have to really worry about going all the way to the end. Okay, guys, so now what I'm going to do, since I have that cream cheese spread out, is I'm going to go ahead and wrap it again. And then I'm going to wrap it and put it in some plastic wrap and put it back in the towel and put it in the refrigerator. Let it stay there for about an hour. You can leave it overnight, as long as you want it, okay? Because to cut it, you need to let it stay in the refrigerator so you get that nice slice, okay? So let me go ahead and roll it for you. You roll it nice and tight. Okay, so I rolled it there. So I have now my plastic wrap. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is take it gently without breaking it and put it in my plastic wrap. and then just wrap it over. And this is it, guys. So now I am going to wrap it back in this towel that it was in, like that. And I'm just gonna leave this now. I'm gonna put this in the refrigerator. I'm gonna put it in the refrigerator. You can put it for an hour, 2 hours, however long you want it to, because in order to cut it, it needs to be refrigerated. So as I said, you will get a nice smooth cut instead of it, you know, breaking all over the place. Okay, so I'll be back as soon as I'm ready to cut this and taste it for you. Okay guys, so our pumpkin roll is done. Took it out of the refrigerator. Here it is. So let me go ahead. I found this, guys. I thought it was so appropriate. I found it's just something to hang, but I thought it was appropriate to put my pumpkin on, so I bought it just for that reason. So I'll put my pumpkin on. That is already cleaned. So let me go ahead and unroll this. And here it is. Just unwrap it. And guys, that is your pumpkin roll. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut the ends right here. I'm gonna go ahead and cut the ends. Okay guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut that off, and this would be your snacking piece. And turn it around. And we're going to cut the other side as well. Your snacking piece. And there it is, guys. Your pumpkin roll. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of my confectionate sugar and just sprinkle a little bit. And that's it. Okay guys, so now our pumpkin roll is all done, guys. And this is how you can make a pumpkin roll, and you can just make it from scratch. Just get your pumpkin as you saw me did, and make your own pumpkin from scratch. So let me go ahead and taste it for you and tell you exactly how it tastes. First you clean your knife, and then let me just make a slice. And there it is, pumpkin roll. So let me go ahead and taste it. Looks yummy. But it's good. Guys, this is a good dessert. It is moist, very moist. The cream cheese in there tastes really great. All the flavors kind of blend in really well. It's delicious and it's moist, so you can just eat it. It tastes really good. Guys, you have to go ahead. And give this a try. Use up your pumpkin, guys. Pumpkin is just not for boiling and making soup. It's for different things. So go ahead and use up some of those pumpkins. Guys, I had fun making this for you. I hope you would consider subscribing to the channel, share, like, and subscribe to the channel. Leave me a message. I love to read your message. I had fun, and I hope you have fun as well. Until next time, bye-bye.